Welcome to the 290 Mo podcast.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your time. If you could introduce yourself to my viewers and listeners.
So I am Charity Dunn, the author of my new book, A Gift of a Curse. I wrote A Gift of a Curse and released it on February 29th of 2024. And it's available. I have them on hand. They're on It's at Walmart, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target. It's available everywhere that books are sold. I got hard copies. I got paperbacks. I got ebooks on sale right now for $9.99. It's a true story, but it's more than a story. It's a movement. I really just wrote this to like heal the land. This is part of my mission.
For sure. And that's dope. That's dope. So before we get to the book and your story, let's start at the beginning if you don't mind.
Let's get it.
Where you from? Where you grew up?
I am. I'm off California, Lexington. I grew up on Kizzy and Flournoy, and then I went to Manly. After I got kicked out of Providence St. Mel, I went to Providence St. Mel. I went to Jensen All Elementary. I went to Providence St. Mel my freshman year. I got kicked out for being popular.
Not for being popular.
Yeah, they said like I had too much going on.
You weren't doing no learning.
They said I was more concerned about the social aspect of school.
I never heard of that before.
I never heard of it either. It's a private school, so they can do what they want to do, So they kicked me out because they said that I was really popular and that, I hung with all the seniors. And then the dean of student, he was like the coach of the basketball team. And I always been the type, I grew up around all boys. I have a lot of girls in the house with me. I had all boy cousins around me, so I always clicked with the boys really well, and I hung with all the boys, So he wasn't feeling that. He like, you distracting them, and I hung with the cheerleaders too. I had girlfriends at Providence St. Mel too. I just knew a lot of people really fast, and they got me up out of there. And once I got kicked out of there, I started going to Manly. So when I started going to Manly, I started hanging on California, and I kind of been there ever since.
Okay, so coming up early, and we could kind of talk about before hitting Cali. What was your aspirations? You know what I'm saying? Like, doctor, lawyer, teacher, like.
So, when I was born, my mother gave me away for adoption, because she was white and my daddy was black, and her mother had gave her away, and her mother had gave her away. So I felt like I was born into a generational curse.
Like the same situations, like with black fathers, so they.
I don't know. No, it was just that they was in a situations where they couldn't keep their babies. I think her mother had a baby by a married man at a young age, and then she didn't keep her baby. And I don't know what was the situation before that because I never met those two grandparents. I have met my biological mother, grew up around her, know her really well, but she never met her. She never seen her before. So she was given away. She was put in an orphanage. My father's family grabbed me, and I kind of bounced around from house to house until my great aunt decided to, go to the court and like, we gonna take her, we gonna make her eyes. And shout out to them, Miss Amanda and Deborah. They raised me on Flournoy and Kids, born and raised all my life. I was right there. I grew up, and they had me in church Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I was kind of a good girl. School, church. I couldn't come outside. I didn't have a lot of cousins and stuff. Once my grandma died, the house had kind of cleared out. So I was like, grew up as like an only child. And I had wanted to be a lawyer. And then I had started modeling. So 7th, 8th, 3rd, 4th, 8th, 3rd grade to like 8th grade, I was modeling. I was doing like fashion shows for schools. I was doing like my school. I was doing it. I did it for the family reunions and stuff like that. And then they had signed me up with a modeling agency, and I was traveling. I had been to California and stuff. Like I was modeling at the time and like interested in modeling and acting.
Now, talk to me about the dynamics of, you know what I'm saying, how early did you know about the situation, like with your parents? Like, did they like talk to you about it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
My mama was around when I was little. Okay. She just, she had started, so her the people that raised her, they was racist. They didn't like black people. So she ended up giving me away, and then he ended up dying from a heart attack. Her dad, who was the racist person, he ended up dying like a year later after she gave me away. And I guess my mama started getting high real bad. You know, that's what she say. I don't know. I could only tell you what the stories I heard because I hear so many on what she say. Like she had started getting high after he died, and so she was in and out of my life a lot. She would tell me she coming. I'd be sitting in the window waiting. Sometimes she came. Sometimes she
That's
didn't.
how it was my pops.
Yeah.
My sister be on the front with our bags packed.
Yeah, like I literally used to sit in the window and count the cars riding past. Like she gonna be the 30th car, she gonna be the 60th car, and sometimes she never came. But a lot of times she was around. She'll come get me. She'll take me to like little garage sales and stuff, and we'll pick out little stuff. When she'll take me to the ponds, we'll feed the ducks and stuff like that. We used to do little stuff like that, you know, go to the beaches, all the little free activities. She was pretty cool and pretty fun. I really loved being around her when I was little. So like when she was gone, it hurt it. It hurt it real bad. My daddy, he was in jail. He had went to jail for armed robbery or something like that. My daddy was a stick-up man when I was little, a pimp and a stick-up man. So I heard, sorry, daddy.
Allegedly, you know what I'm saying?
Allegedly.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
So with them type of dynamics, you know what I'm saying, coming up, you know, how much of effect do you think that had, you know what I'm saying, on your upbringing? Like, did you take it like as pretty normal? Like, did you understand the things that was going on around you?
I was confused because I was the only one in school with my mama was old, you know. Everybody else mama young, and my mama coming here old. I was kind of embarrassed, and then my white mama better not showed up at the school because no, you weren't finna do that, you know. Like that was super embarrassing. And then I just kind of felt like, dang, my mama and daddy didn't want me, so I ain't really feel loved. I ain't really feel important. I ain't feel valued. I ain't feel worthy.
So with them type of feelings on you, what type of path did that lead you down? Like, did it motivate you to become, you know what I'm saying, better than your circumstances, or did you know? I
went the wrong way. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. So I went to like the boys. I was boy crazy. Like I was a lover girl. As I'm older now and I'm able to look back and laugh, I was like Elmira. I just want to hug him and love him and squeeze him. Actually, one of my friends, she told me that she was like, "Girl, you act just like Elmira." And you know they run from me because boys don't like that, you know, that clingy stuff. But yeah, I think I went like looking for love in all the wrong places.
So at that time, did you know what I'm saying, reset any of your ambitions or goals? Like, did you get into like school after high school? Did you get into
I got kicked out of every high school I ever went to.
I mean, after high school, like, you know what I'm saying?
I never made it through high school. I went to jail.
Okay. Well, let's slow the story up. Okay, so
yeah, like I got kicked out of St. Mel. I got kicked out of Manly. I spent my sweet 16 in the Audi home. I ended up getting.
Oh, you was real deal.
Yeah, I ended up getting kicked out the Audi home because.
You got kicked out the Audi home?
Yeah, I got kicked out the school at Audi home because I ended up whooping one of the girls and the teacher got her wig knocked off or something like that and she quit. So like they had me locked in the room and so it was time to get out. Then I got stabbed when I was 17. That's what really I had went through some stuff in the hood with one of the guys that I was dealing with. He was like terrorizing me, torturing me. I was 15, he was like 23. He had a woman at home, but he was interested in me and thought like I was supposed to be faithful to him or something like that. I was young, I ain't know no better, so I was messing with him and then I messed with him. You know, I was young, I was trying to figure it all out. And then, you know, I ended up making the wrong decisions. Y'all got to get the book to hear that part of the story. But I ended up making the wrong decisions. My grandma had came and tried to save me from over there out that hood life. And then some things went on out there where y'all got to get the book to hear that part. You know what I'm saying? Because some of that stuff, like, I'm healed from it, but I still haven't, like, mastered talking about it without crying and stuff. So y'all got to read the book for that. And but I went through some stuff, and then I came back, ended up back in the hood, and I got stabbed. I was 17, you know, and that's when school just went totally out the window. I started studying, like, how to be a murderer, how to kill people, because I grew up in a church. I didn't really have that killer instinct. I wasn't evil. I was a good person, you know, but I had to learn how to kill because she had just stabbed me, and I wanted her to die immediately. but I didn't know how. So I started doing drugs real heavy to cope with the pain. And then I had heard my cousin was a killer when he smoked leaf. So like for like 2 weeks out when I first got stabbed, I was trying to play with that to see if that'd make me a killer. It didn't do nothing to me.
The leaf ain't do nothing to you?
Nah, it just made me slow, like just moving slow motion. Sure. It never like turned me up. It might
never see how nobody can do a drill off no leaf though.
It didn't do nothing to me. It was one for me. You know, I felt like I was walking on space boots. I had a homie down the street. Her name was Princess. She was on that bed. You know what I'm saying? So I go get up with her and try to play with it, but I hated the way it smelled. It didn't turn me into no killer. It just kind of probably threw me off mentally, if anything, you know.
For sure.
But I had started popping pills real bad. I was off X, and X kind of turned me up and kind of quiet up that conscience. You know, when you think twice before you do something. I had got on the X real bad because I just wanted to be crazy, and plus I was running from that pain. I was hurting real bad inside, and I was young, and I ain't feel like nobody loved me. I ain't had no lot of help. I ain't had no big support system because my mama 90 years old right now, so you know she was old then, and it was just me and her daughter, which is my big sister, and my sister like 60 something. So it's like I didn't really have that, and my family was kind of distant at the time, so didn't nobody even really know I was going through all that. And for real.
That's crazy that you brought that up, because I was just going to ask you about your support system, because you mentioned grandma coming to try to save you, but when you make it throughout all these situations, like what go after that? Like who do you talk to? What do you?
I ain't had nobody but God, to be honest. I think that's what I might have had people. Well, at least they say I had them, you know, but I didn't feel like I had nobody, you know, because somebody had did something, a boy had did something real bad to me, you know, and didn't nobody do nothing to him. My grandma wanted to get him out the way because I had a few gangsters in the family, but, you know, my mama wasn't having it. Like, I live right here. My grandma was like, you know, I live right here. My mama was like, you know, I live right here. We can't let nobody do nothing to nobody and something happens to us. So they kind of like stopped that from happening. So I kind of felt alone. So I just started wilding. Like I turned up on everybody. Like I took it out on anybody that was around me.
Mm-hmm. Now when you say you fell into an addiction, was it just any drug that you felt like, you know what I'm saying, that it was going to get you there, or was you experimenting with different things? Was you getting advice? Like how did you know what, you know what I'm saying?
So the guy that I was really interested in the most, which I ended up marrying him and making him my husband later, he was off X real bad. He's probably like 10 pills. Like he was the one who turned the whole hood out. He had all the shorties high off the pills. He had everybody. So and then Ja Rule had the songs out at the time, Give Me How Tonight. And it just made you feel good. So X was like a feel good type thing. And I just wanted to run from the pain because, you know, if I rewind it and go back, when I started going to Manly, they was jumping on me every day. Like, you know how they say you got initiated in? Like they blessed me in because I was fighting every day. I had to fight the boys. I had to fight the girls. I had to fight everybody, and I had no help. So it was like, it was crazy because I got to walk through this neighborhood. I got to walk to this school. I got to be around here, you know, and they was terrorizing me. Like I have one-on-one fight. You look up, it's 60 of them on me. Well, you know, I be walking up the street, the boys will say something to me, I don't say nothing back, they jumping on me. And then I had the niggas, they was heartbroken because I jumped off the porch and broke 3 hearts in like 3 months because I ain't really know what I was doing, you know. And all them bitter, and they was all like 6, 7, 8 years older than me. They really was bogus for messing with me, you feel me? But they was both, they had the shorties jumping on me. They get her. So now I'm fighting 60 people every day, 30 people, 20 people, 10 people every day. You know, that was crazy.
Going through that, what was your heart at, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I know a lot of people who's scared to walk to the corner store, you know what I'm saying? So was there any fear involved? I just
let them run me from around there. No, I wasn't scared. And I think that's the point of why I allowed myself to go through so much, because I had to prove to them I wasn't scared. Yeah, okay. Yeah, y'all jump me today. I'm back outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm back outside. Y'all ain't finna run me from down here. Who y'all think y'all is? And I'll fight every day if that's what I got to, because y'all ain't finna punk me. Y'all ain't finna scare me. It takes 60 of y'all to take me down, 30 of y'all, 20 of y'all. Or if it's one of y'all, you got a weapon. You know, you really couldn't do too much with me on the one-on-one side. But then it was some girls that had ended up coming along and cuffing me, some older girls, you know, they called themselves the demons at the time, you feel me? They wasn't going. They'd fight her head up, and then once I started getting them one-on-ones off, people kind of started simmering down once I started getting a little help, you know, from the girls in the hood. Shout out to Beb and Mona and them, you know, them was my Ace Coon Booms. They wasn't gonna let nobody jump on me. They wasn't gonna let nobody hurt me. far as the girls, but the niggas was still kind of having their way, doing what they want to do, probably when they was around, but when they wasn't around, I had to fight all the guys, just to come up the block, because they was crazy. Like, it was crazy because it was like 100 niggas on every corner back in them days, It was lit, the streets was lit. It was different, y'all wouldn't know nothing about that right now because y'all can't even come outside for real without getting shot. Back then it was bad, but it was more of a fighting bad, a jump on bad. You know what I'm saying? You weren't gonna die about it so much, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was crazy though. But
and I definitely remember them times that even if the guns did come out, I remember being told to y'all gotta go in the house if you wasn't a part of that. So it's definitely a time change. What I want to ask you about before we get into the time you spent in prison, when you were attacked and you were stabbed. Did you see it coming? Did your life flash? Did you know if it was serious or not?
I think they're coming, but I was so high I couldn't run. My homie had did something to me that night, and me and her had this type of relationship where if she do me, I do her type thing. She'll backdoor me, I backdoor her, but we never fought about it, Like at the time, these niggas was for everybody, So I wasn't getting into it with my homie about no boy, but she had did something weird, and then her and another girl both was doing weird stuff to me, and they supposed to be my friends. So I'm like, oh, okay, I got them. All I gotta do is go over here and talk to Buddy. Y'all gonna be ready to die about it, So when I got over there, he was over there with his baby mama. I had walked to Rockwell by myself. I never really even hung in the projects like that. You feel me? I really went over there on some get back to make them mad type stuff, because Shorty then went with the guy I supposed to been with and tricked off with him and got the bread. I was blue, I'm like, dang, that's how you coming? I bet. And then her homie, the girl supposed to been our friend, she was low-key messing with one of the guys that I was messing with, and both of them was messing with the same boy. So I'm like, all right, bet. This boy love me. Every time he see me, he's jumping out the car chasing me, So I ain't really got to do nothing but go over here and talk to him. Y'all finna be ready to die. So I get over there. He was with his baby mama, with his baby, you know what I'm saying? So the projects was just an all-day party. I just stayed over there to kick it. I knew just me being around was going to blow them, you know what I'm saying? Even if I wasn't nowhere around him. So I stayed around. My homie, she come up there. She like, yeah, that's what you want. And I felt so bad about it. I'm like, nah, I ain't really on that. I just wanted to make you mad type shit, So I tried to run up out of there behind her. I don't know where she went to, you feel me? But I walked on up out of there. I had been in there smoking and drinking all day. That was probably the first day I ever ate steak. I ain't really liked steak before that day, but Moons had the steak, you know what I'm saying? So I was kicking it. I come up out of there, all the girls from Rockwell across the street, they come here. I get away from them and get over the bridge. Once I get over the bridge, she was over there with a butcher knife with a black leather jacket. I'll never forget. She was standing out there. She's supposed to be my friend, so she stayed right there. So when I get over there, I see her walking with her head down, black leather jacket, black jogging pants, black and red retro Jordans on, black t-shirt. Feel me? But she got a butcher knife in her hand.
Memory from the situation,
yeah, I'm traumatized, shorty. Like I used to ride through there all the time and just cry just to be on the scene. You feel me? Like I thought I could talk to her. You feel me? Because I knew I wasn't really doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? It might have looked it like that, but it wasn't that. So I thought I could talk to her. So when she walked up, I was so high I couldn't run. You feel me? Like it was like I was in a daze. I couldn't really believe that this was happening. And I'm thinking like, okay, this is my homie. I really could holler at her. He over there with his other baby mama. You know what I'm saying? As I grabbed her trying to talk to her, I ain't know her brother was with her. Her brother grabbed me. When her brother grabbed me, I looked this way. She snatched away with the knife, and the knife went up my face. She had a butcher knife. It was this big. The knife went up the top tip of her, caught my face. She hit me with the knife, I went down. Oh, you just stabbed me. She was just kind of like in a state of shock. We get to fighting because I ain't really feel that. I just knew she hit me. We get to fighting. She hit me one more time across my forehead right here. I thought I was dead, though. I say the knife hit, like, flash behind. She hit me with it so many times. I can't believe I only got cut one more time, So she really went crazy, but I had then hemmed her up and whooped her with the knife a little bit, then grabbed her, dragged her. She trying to stab my feet. She couldn't get me. She never hit me no more, though. And I just remember, I kind of blanked out after that. And I remember like somebody grabbing me like, baby, you finna bleed out here. And when I got up and they got me, I ain't want to leave. I wanted the knife. Like, I just wanted the knife. Like, I ain't finna leave. She just stab me. I need the knife. We finna die out here together. You know, that's what type of sound I was on. But they like, baby, please. And I felt myself getting weak. I had lost so much blood. When I got up, she was covered in blood, you know. So I went and got help.
Now you said after that situation, you wanted to learn how to kill. You wanted to be a killer.
Yeah, my cousin used to smoke leaf. You feel me? He used to go in the police station with guns. He used to kill people. I heard off the leaf, so I had, thought that was gonna work. That ain't work though.
So before then, you sound like you was cool with the head up fighting. Did that like change how you approach fighting? Like, was you cool with like weapons and shit after that point?
I felt, even to this day, if you run up on me, you see I got all these scars, you must want one. You know, I ain't really playing like that no more. Before that had kind of happened while they was still jumping on me, I was kind of stealing my mama car to protect me. You feel me? I needed something around to guard my body, so I still wanted to come out, and I knew they weren't gonna leave me alone, so I started stealing her car. They'll bust the window or something, but the windows could get fixed. They couldn't get to me. You run up on this car, I drag you out, run you over, whatever I had to do. My mama had ended up sending me to jail. That's how I caught the case at school for fighting for a knife or something. Then they had me on house arrest. I stole her car, spent my sweet 16th birthday in jail because the police officer, he knew me clearly. He came right down there and got me. So he was a pervert. He's messed with all the young girls. He mad. I ain't want to talk to him. I was never one of them, So he knew exactly where I was. He came right down there, got me, booked me. I spent a little time in jail, so I stopped touching my mama car after that. I probably didn't know I didn't stop touching her. I kept stealing her car because I needed something to guard my body. But after a while, I think like after about a year or two of stealing her car, after I got stabbed, I started stealing these niggas' cars because they'll get us high and drunk and leave us somewhere. If we ain't want to have sex with them, we get in the car with them. They come try to talk to us. They'll get us high and drunk. They want to kick it. We tell them, nah, like we cool. We ain't finna do that. They'll leave you up north somewhere or something, So they only had one time to do me like that. The next time I start, okay, bet. Go on in the gas station. I got you. I'm finna go with you. Go get something to drink. You feel me? He come up out of there. I was gone. It ain't funny.
It ain't.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry to anybody that I did that to. I was not in my right state of mind, but I felt like I had to get them before they get me,
What I want to know, if you don't mind me asking, you speak on these situations that you had with dealing with men, from a young age, from older men to men, with the situations dropping you off to the freaky cops, Yeah. What was your outlook on men then, and did it affect, how you look at men now today?
It turned me into a dog at one point in time. Like I still got a lot of love in me, and the niggas that I date, like if I give you a fair chance to treat me right, just recently I had did some stuff that I probably shouldn't have did like 2-3 years ago, and it made me wake up. But at first I was a dog. Like, you break my heart, I'm gonna break yours. Like, I always knew how to hurt a nigga, Niggas always, they prideful, so like they want to be able to brag on you. So if I go mess with your homie, you lost your bragging rights, you feel me? And I had your homie doing more for me than you was doing, you know what I'm saying? So like I always played crazy in that type of way when I was younger, and it turned me into a real animal. Plus I hung with the niggas, so it was like I acted like them, I did what they did. I ain't really had no heart for real. But I still got a lot of love, and I give you a fair chance. But if you hurt me, I knew how to hurt you, And it's only so many ways you can hurt a man. And I know how to hit that ego. I build your ego up, make you feel like you the best nigga in the world. And I also know how to break it and make you feel like you nothing. But a few years ago, I just went through something, and I called myself trying to reroute and pull out a trick out the old book, and it backfired, and it hurted me more than it hurted him. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of like, I can't never do nothing like that no more. So I got it together now. Like, since I've been in my healing journey, like I've been healing for the last 3 years, I figured out like that ain't it. I don't want to do that. If he hurt me, I'm going to walk away. Or if he hurt me, you know what I'm saying? It's other ways to handle that, because I really hurt myself more than I hurt them. So like I had to learn from that. But at first I was a dog. You play with me, I'm going to break your heart.
So you've been through a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of people, they either have like an addiction story or they have a violent story, you know what I'm saying? And you've been through it all, including having, Now, is your prison stint the same situation as your mom sending you to jail, or is it
Nah, I had started selling drugs. I had to learn. Cause like after I stopped going to school, they was like I was on my own at like 15 years old. Once I started like wilding, like didn't want to go to school, ditching school, getting in trouble. My mom and them tried to give me tough love, and at first I was real spoiled. I had everything that a kid could want. I had encyclopedias. I had computers. Computers was big to have back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? I had a computer. I had a queen size bed. Kids ain't had it. It was always 30 people sleeping in one bed or twin beds. So I really was spoiled. But once I stopped going to school, they gave me tough love. So I had to figure out how I was gonna survive out here. So after I got stabbed, I really just wanted to turn straight gangster. I started wearing hoodies. I was playing with guns. So it was only right. First I was robbing people. I was like, well, I wasn't really robbing them. I stole the cars and the guys will pull up and they'll handle it. You know what I'm saying? I get a little money out for stuff like that. Well, I'm stealing cars and my homie she'll go in the store and steal our outfits. We gonna go sit down and eat. We getting up out of there. We'll go on the blocks and steal the weed and stuff. I kind of had started playing with the robbers game, and then after that, I started getting on the corner selling drugs because it was like I had to eat and I had a baby. I ended up having a baby a year later after I got stabbed, so it had got real for me. So I had to figure out, I had already had 2 felony at 18, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't really had no hope for no job or nothing. I kind of gave up on that because it was like I kind of had gave up on life, period. And I ended up having my son the same day I got stabbed the next year. That gave me hope and made me want to live. And at first I was working, but then I still get caught up in these streets, because I was still hurt. I got back on them corners. I was hustling. Like when my son daddy, he used to be on the block. He'll be on the corner, I'd be in the middle, or he'll be in the middle, I'd be on the corner. So like we used to be on some Bunny and Clyde type shit because we weren't never in a relationship. You got to read the book to find out how that baby got conceived, because there's a story behind that. But after the baby was here, it was like we had to go on teamwork, make the dream work, you know what I'm saying? And we was really like, we weren't together, but, I'd be the driver, he was robbing them, or he'll be on this corner and I'd be down there. He'll have the rocks, I had the weed type shit, and then it just went from there. And then I started catching case after case after case, and then I did my last bit 10 years ago. I ain't went back since. I don't never plan on going back either. Like, knock on wood, but by the grace of God, I'm not really making those decisions that'll put me in that type of, because I got babies, like, and they need me. They need me. I don't want to leave them like my mama left me, so.
Do you think prison makes you like a better criminal, or do it like scare you straight type?
The older you get, it'll scare you straight. When I was young, I ain't care. I ain't give a fuck. It just had me scared straight for a little while. But then I get right back at it. The streets is it's your environment. If you go to jail and you go somewhere else, you probably got a better chance. But if you go to jail and you come back right to the same stuff, you go back to what it's a setup for failure, I had to move out the hood to change my life. I didn't know how to change and still be in that environment. I wasn't that strong. Some people stronger than that, but I wasn't. I always been the type that know how to adapt to my environment. You put me in the corporate world, I could go corporate. You put me in the church, I know how to go church. If you put me in the streets, I know how to turn animal. Like, it's whatever environment you put me in, I know how to adapt to it. So for me, it was big for me to get out the environment for me to change.
And that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, what ultimately, like you said, your last case was 10 years ago, and what ultimately led to you changing was the move.
Yeah, I moved, but I had just had my second son, and the first time I had a baby, I was crazy as hell. Like, I had just got stabbed. I had him a year later, so I tried to do right for the first year while he was little, and then I was right back out here, and I was still young. I was only 18 years old. So by me only being 18 years old with a baby, I still wasn't taking life serious. I still had a lot of pain. I was trying to learn how to survive, and I was a felon. So I was still making the same mistakes. I was still young. I didn't really understand life. That last time when I went to jail, I just kept telling myself, I had tried to like do some suicidal shit before I went to jail that last time, because I didn't want to go back to jail. I ain't like sitting in no cell all day. Like, that made me crazy, so I rather die than go back to jail at first. That's the type of mentality I had. Like I didn't want to go through that. So once I had that baby, that my second son, I ran with him for the first 2 years, and then I ended up getting caught because I was on the run for like 3 years before they caught me. And then when I had to go turn myself in, I was tired. I was tired of living like that. I had already made a decision before I walked in there, because usually I run. Like, y'all got to get up with me, catch me if you can, but I was like tired. I was tired of getting high every day. I was tired of drinking every day. I was tired of the lifestyle. I really wanted to change. So I went in there. I got in drug treatment programs to teach me about why I was acting the way I was acting. Because sometimes all it needs is to bring awareness. We don't be fully aware of why we acting the way we acting. And that's when I learned, like, it was the pain, it was the rejection, it was the abandonment, it was the torture, the PTSD, the trauma that had me acting the way I was. So once I learned that, I had made a decision when I was in there, like, I don't want to go back. I'm finna come out and I'm finna do what it takes to stay out here. Like, I still make mistakes. There's times where I still do things that I probably shouldn't do, but I ain't just flat out here all in, you know what I'm saying? Just that person, like, don't care. Like, no, I ain't doing that no more. That's dead. We all fall short. We all make mistakes. There's times that we still dibble and dabble to feed our families, but it ain't never just every day, all day. It's that. This my lifestyle. Like, no, I don't stand for that no more. I had ended up getting married when I came home. I was out a year and he married me. As soon as I came home, he snatched me right up. I had been gone a year. He got me a crib in 2 days. I came home that Tuesday. He gave me like a few thousands. I had a crib by Thursday. I was moved in with him by Saturday. He didn't give me a chance for nobody else to grab me. I came home thick, pretty. You know what I'm saying? I was drug free. My mind was right. My heart was right. So it was like, he ain't even really giving me a chance to go nowhere else. But once I got the crib now, I felt like he owned me, so he was right back beating on me again, and I ain't really feel like I had nowhere to go. So I endured it just so I could have my own with my babies. It was either take these ass whoopings or go back to the streets. And I just took the bitter with the sweet, because at least I ain't got to worry about going to jail. He throwing the bricks at the penitentiary, not me. I'm at home with the kids. So if all I got to do is get whooped here and there, I was taking that. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to go back to the streets. I ain't want to go back to jail. I had 3-4 felonies and 2 kids, and pregnant with my daughter. I couldn't go back to the streets. So, I endured a lot of domestic violence behind that, because I felt like that's all I could do, and there's people that talk like, yeah, I could hold my own, but yeah, you ain't had 3 felonies and 14 misdemeanors, and your name went out here like that. It wasn't easy having no babies with felonies and misdemeanors and no support system, and trying to get out here and work a little minimum wage job. That wasn't gonna feed my family. That wasn't gonna put a roof over our heads. So I ain't do it what I ain't do it. I loved my husband, though. Don't get it twisted. I didn't just stay for the help. I stayed because I really loved him, but at the same time, I needed the help too. So it was times where I wanted to leave, but I had to think about, what about my babies? You know what I'm saying? What about them? I'm gonna have to drag them through the shelter, because I could have stayed in the shelter and went through the process of getting the help and all that, but I ain't want to take my kids through all that.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was just waiting for you to, after jail, for be like, that was the end of the story, like you made it out and you go right back into another situation like that. So how, how do you ultimately, make it out of that situation?
Man, it was crazy, because like I really loved him. Like, it was like I finally had got. So when I first met him, he was with somebody else, and his whole aim was to show everybody that I was nothing. He was trying to assassinate my character. He did, you know what I'm saying? He kind of stripped me of my pride with a lot of little stuff he was doing, and he, for 10 years, he tried, from 2001 until I married him in 2012. He was like, but he was in and out of jail. He did something to me that's unspeakable, that I never had even heard of, that'll strip you up out your pride. It just was crazy. He tried to embarrass me in front of the world and assassinate my character. And after that, I kind of went crazy. Then I ended up getting stabbed like a few months later. So all that played a role. And while I lost it for a minute, I didn't feel like I was a girl. I felt like I was a monster. And like I didn't feel pretty or none of that. So like he had kind of like broke me down. And everybody telling me he don't love you. He hates you. Look how he treating you. But in my heart, I always felt like he loved me. He just was heartbroken because you know how I was moving or whatever. And I kind of blamed myself for why he was treating me like that. So when I got with him, it was like I felt like I won a trophy. Like, what y'all was saying, I thought he ain't love me. You know what I'm saying? But whole time, it was like, yeah, I was proving the point. Like, yeah, I knew this nigga loved me. But at the same time, I put myself in a bad situation because he never let go of that hurt. And it was like he was still bitter because of all that. And he had got real comfortable with how he was treating me. So for years, he was doing that. I put it all in the book. He was doing that. I went through the worst with him. And then finally, I snapped. I was like back on suicide mission, back to square one. Like, well, it was either me or you. That's how I felt. So it was like, shit, I'd rather die than stay in this. So come on with it. And once again, I sat back and I analyzed what I did back then to make him hate me. Because he wasn't trying to let me leave that marriage. Like, under no circumstances, he didn't care what I was doing, who I was doing it with. He was not trying to let me leave that marriage. So I had to sit back and I was strategizing, like, what did I do to make him hate me back then? I'm like, oh, I know what I did. And I just got back in that mode. You feel me? Like, just full time back in that mode. I lost myself just so I could live again. Sometimes you got to lose to win again. But I did what I had to do to get out. I ain't gonna judge myself. I'm pretty sure it's people out here judge me. And I don't recommend that no woman leave the way I left because I left dangerous. But I did it. I prayed every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, before it came to that, I was in another state by myself for help with my situation, and he wasn't there, so I learned how to live alone. And while I was out there, I was praying over myself every day, and I had became a better person. And it was like he didn't want to see me rise, and that was, I think, my breaking point. Like, why is you trying to keep me down? I'm a good person, I'm smart, like I'm talented, and it was like he didn't want to see me get to the point where I didn't need him because he knew that's where his power was at. You know what I'm saying? So like once he seen me excel, and I thought that's what you would want your woman to do. You would want to see her do better. And I was at the highest point I had ever been in my life, and he was dragging me. He left me, and that hurted me. So I snapped like, okay, I'd rather die than stay in this. I'm finna turn back up, and I lost it like completely. Got right back out here like I was back in the days, and because pain changed me back then. And I allowed the pain to change me again. I snapped in 2019. 2019, 2020, 21. I wasn't nothing nice.
So when you snapped, was that enough to end the situation as well?
Yes. He couldn't take it. Like, I was back church. Like, they used to call me church. You know what I'm saying? He hated that name, but I was back church full throttle. Like, I was outside with niggas in broad daylight in the cars that, my car's in his name because I ain't had no license. So, I'm outside with the killers, the shorties. They ready to die about it. You know what I'm saying? We got too many pipes in here. Broad daylight. You pull up, we leaving you right here. I had got back in that mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I knew, like, if he only knew I was messing with one person, he probably wouldn't leave. You know what I'm saying? So I had 2 or 3. And then that's when the pride thing got in the way. You know what I'm saying? But even with that, he still wasn't willing to leave. You know what I'm saying? I had just started snapping. I turned into the crazy one. Now I'm beating on him. Every time he say something to me about me cheating, I'm whooping him.
That's what I was going to ask you. You didn't feel like in danger? Like you ain't feel like he was going to snap?
I didn't care no more. And when I got in that mode, the roles changed.
That's crazy. You was putting your hands on him?
Man, what? An old lady had told me, like, right before I started going through that, she like, don't never try to change your man because it'll change you. And I ain't really know what she was talking about. And if marriage two become one. I become you, you become me. And at first I was scared of him for a long time. I thought I was going to die. But when I snapped and got in that mode, I ain't care if I die or not. Kill me. He'll be doing 100 on the E-way, so I'm finna kill us. Go ahead. You going to hell. God love me. I'm going to heaven. Kill us then. I'm tired. I might survive. You might not make it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like when I got in that mode, he seemed like I ain't care. I wasn't coming home. Like I didn't care. I wasn't coming home. I was outside with the guns. I was cheating in the hood where I'm knowing people could go back and sell them. Please go tell him. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had got crazy, like to the point where it was embarrassing. And he's a man with pride. He a man that think he's stand for something, so he couldn't take it. And even with that, he still ain't leave. I had to really just cut. He still was trying to give me money. I'll give you 20,000 if you come home, you know. And then I had met somebody that was so different that made me didn't even look back his way. I ain't take his money no more. I wouldn't have sex with him no more. And this person had kind of came and showed me something different, and I changed. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, "Why is you like this? What's wrong with you?" You know? And he started making me self-reflect, like, "Oh, I had realized I lost it. I ain't even know I had lost it, but I had lost it. I'm popping pills every day. I'm outside. I'm having my way. I got him. You know, I'm having my way." And it was like something I used to do back in the days. 10 years I was married. I ain't no way I supposed to went back like that. But I felt like I had to lose myself to win this battle, or you know what I'm saying? I really didn't give a fuck if he snapped and killed me or not, because I couldn't live like that no more. I couldn't live with him beating on me no more. I couldn't live like that. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like I knew God. I always prayed. I always put the protection on me. When I was in Ohio for the year, I was reading Psalms 91 every day. That's a protection prayer. Whole time I was praying for myself for what I was about to get into, you know, and God knew my heart. And then I started asking God to give me peace. I looked up, a little lady came in his life. Let them go peacefully. I ain't say nothing to her. I ain't want no smoke with her. I actually want to be her friend. You know, I take her out to eat or something. She cool, pretty cool with me. She took them problems off my hands. I had somebody, he's had somebody. We grew up, he went his separate way. I went mad. You know, he don't talk to me right now to this day. He don't really do nothing for the kids. He walked away from my boys after being in their life.
That's what I was going to ask you, because you guys got children together.
We
so
don't talk.
No communication.
No communication. He can't take it, you know, like. And then it's like when I used to try to talk to him, it was always, you did this, you did that, you did this. I don't want to talk about it because he ain't taking no accountability for the role you played and why this became like this, you know. So I know that I was wrong on my way out. I don't want to recommend that to nobody, because it was dangerous. Like, I felt like I was on a suicide ramp, you know what I'm saying? And that was a fucked up.
For sure, because niggas snap over women every day.
I was coming in the house whooping him, and I ain't come home last night. Man, don't touch me. Get out. He mentioned a nigga name. Man, get out. You know, I put him out because he had called another nigga phone. I wasn't even messing with the nigga no more. The nigga was mad about him. You know, he found out about him, kind of slight cut me out. And then he said he tripping about him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, he said he mentioned he said, I called the nigga. I done been in the house all day of the day after Valentine's Day. I'll never forget. He had just decorated the house from the top to the bottom. Roses everywhere, Louis everywhere. I got Louis here, Louis there, Gucci there, Chanel right here. You know, he did his 1 2 1 2. Like, and I was trying to make it work, you know, but it was like, you did all this on Valentine's Day. You wake up the next day and go through the call log, get the finding numbers from November. It's February. Why is you calling numbers back from November? Found the nigga number, call the nigga, like, come in the house. He been gone since 6 in the morning. It's 10 o'clock at night. He get in there talking about some, I called the nigga. You what? Man, get out. Get out. And then it was like I was still playing with him until I met somebody in like May. And once I met that boy in May, cut him completely off. Like, no sex, no, I don't want your money, I don't want nothing from you, I'm in love. And then he came out with the girl. I was like, thank you, Jesus.
Did meeting the new young man also, you know what I'm saying, calm you down as far as like being outside and with the pills and everything?
I shout out to him, man. We don't talk right now because I was toxic. I think I broke his heart too, but I wasn't in a good headspace. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people probably only come around for a reason in the season. If it's meant to be, it'll be, you know. But at the time, I was in a real bad space, so you know, I wasn't ready to receive what he was trying to do, you know. And I kind of broke his heart too, you know. And he definitely turned me around because he came around like, why do you act like this? What are you doing? What's wrong with you? You can't be acting like this. You a lady. You a queen. Be soft. Act normal, Charity. Like, and that really made me start paying attention to, you know, he was like, you think that's cute? You, because you a gang member. You about you a gang chick. You think that's cute? Like, girls shouldn't act like that. Like, act normal, Charity. And, you know, he was telling me all that type of stuff. And at first, I wasn't really open to receiving that. But it was like the things that he didn't say, and when we did break up, I started realizing that I was the problem. You know what I'm saying? And the day that I had left my ex-husband, I was in a What's Love seminar. I had met my life coach that day, and they was telling me, like, if he beat you before, he ain't gonna stop. And that stuck with me. And when he came in the house on that type of time, I had put him out. Then I met Buddy, and Buddy was like, what's wrong with you? You know, because I was really a fool. Why do you act like that? You pretty, you special, you know, you got some gifts in you. Like, you don't even, like, basically telling me I ain't know who I was. And for him to sink me and sink that in me, and I've been around all these people all this time, and they never acknowledged that, and they never sink that. It was different. And he started like, go learn how to flip the money. If you go learn how to turn 4,000 into 40 and stuff like that. And I joined this trade family. And when I joined them, they was working on mindset. And that's when I knew I was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But I had already kind of fucked over him. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't feeling nothing he was talking about at the time. I ain't understand. It was like he was speaking another language, you know. So I ended up, you know what I'm saying? Me and him ended up going out our separate ways, you know, because of I blame myself. I think we both played a role in it, because he a manipulator, he a liar, he a cheater. It's a lot of stuff I don't tolerate. Like, it's real strict over here. I don't be playing all that. So, you know, I still could have handled the situation a lot better. And I ain't realized that until after it was over. But, you know, I had joined the trade family and mornings with Nano, and they started teaching you how to manifest, how to read, how to develop yourself personally, how to journal, you know what I'm saying? And that's when the healing begun, you know. And I've been healing ever since.
Now you mentioned the healing and the journaling, and I'm mad that we pressed for time, because I wasn't expecting this big of a story when the connection was made. So I'm so glad you came through and shared it.
For sure.
But when you start your healing, you know what I'm saying, outside of the journaling, because you've been through so much, what does healing entail? What all does it entail outside of the journaling? Like, how do you find yourself after being through everything you've been through?
I had to see myself out. Like, that was the biggest thing. You know, I had prayed and asked God to give me peace, because at first, when I first was trying to leave my husband, I was really trying to get the shorties to smoke them. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I needed somebody to get him out the way. I thought it was gonna come to that, but then I had got a little shorty and he was ready. You know what I'm saying? But then he was like, yeah, after I smoke him, I'm gonna smoke you out. Oh, wait a minute, that ain't it. Wait, that ain't the way to go about it. You know what I'm saying? So then I started asking God to give me peace on my way out. So God gave me us a peaceful exit. It didn't end well, but he gave me a peaceful exit where I was able to go, he was able to go, and nobody got hurt. And I thank God for that every day. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't really try to bad mouth him too much. God gave me peace. I don't want to open up no old wounds. You know, he hurt me, I hurt him. It is what it is. But the healing begun when I started writing. This helped me heal. I was able to put all my pain in here, and I was able to sit back and self-reflect. I couldn't believe I had been through all that. I cried the first time I wrote this, I cried the whole time. I wrote it twice. It's so many different versions of this in my laptop that I went back, like, I can't say that. I need to say this. Don't leave that out, you know. So, like, the healing started with just writing. Writing helped me heal, and then I started learning how to manifest. If you could see it, you could do it. You know what I'm saying? You just got to believe in yourself. And that was the hardest part, reprogramming my mind of all the stuff people that said you a hoe, you ain't none, you ain't this, you ain't gonna make it, you ain't worth shit, you know what I'm saying? But then I got this one person in my ear telling me, you that, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that mattered to me. And I started surrounding myself with other people who was telling me the same thing that he was saying, my life coach was saying, and people in Ohio was saying. I started doing the positive affirmations. I had to repeat this every day, all day. I am special, I'm beautiful, I'm strong. And I had to do that. I still got to do that right now to this day, because I still had them voices in my head. I still got people talking, you know what I'm saying? So I had to do positive affirmations. I had to start to manifest and visualize the life I wanted to become. When I first started visualizing, I didn't have a vision. I was lost. I just started visualizing myself, journaling, writing this book. You know what I'm saying? And then that came. And once that came, then I started seeing the bigger picture. You know, I'm going to keep that to myself. Just know it's on the way.
Any background in writing? Like, what made you go into writing instead of making a movie or rapping or making a podcast?
I just kept always saying, like, man, all the shit I've been through, I need to write a book. Like, I gotta write a book, man, because this ain't normal. This ain't no regular shit. This ain't nothing that, people go through. Like, I seen people go through stuff, but like you said, it'll be like, they'll go through the addiction, or they'll go through rape, or they'll go through that. I just went through all that shit, so it was like, I gotta write a book. This some book shit. This some Lifetime Movie Network, Hollywood. They need to come see about me. So I took out the time because it really helped me heal. It really helped me self-reflect and figure out what I went through, why I went through it, and how I was gonna get through it, and how it could help somebody else that's feeling like that can't identify what they feeling, why they feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Why they acting the way they acting. So the person that guy was to me, I want to be that person to the world now. You know what I'm saying? I really want to help uplift all the girls that feel like it ain't no way out. The girls that's in abusive relationships, the girls that's going up in the hood and feel stuck, the girls that's in and out the prison. I want them to know it's hope. You just got to start seeing yourself, start seeing it, start writing it, and God really gave me all the wisdom. I give him all the glory because I couldn't made it without him.
That's dope. You got an amazing story. For the people who may be watching and listening, who interested in doing what you do, where do you get the knowledge to begin to even put a book together that's available everywhere you can find books?
It's crazy because revelation came straight from heaven. I didn't have a clue. I had my life coach though. She had wrote a book. She was doing everything I want to do. I'm like, I could be a life coach. I do this every day for free. You getting paid for this, And I'm like, what? And then she had wrote a book. So she just kept telling me, just start writing. So, you got to put yourself in them environments around the right people. Talk to God. God will send the right people to you. He'll open up the right doors. When he know that your heart is sincere and that you ready, he will send them people, like, no matter what you doing wrong, because as you can see, I lived a real wrong life, but he still had mercy on me. He still had favor on me. I pray in the name of Jesus. There's so much power in his name that, I believe that he opened up the doors. Start there. Start talking to him. Make your requests known to him. Ask him to forgive you. Things will start happening. He sent her. She told me to just start writing. She put me in connection with some people. They ran off with my money. I had lost hope. I'm like, damn. But then God kept putting it in my heart to pray on live. And I wouldn't do it because I'm like, I'm still drinking. I'm still smoking. I still like the party. They going to judge me. I said, get on there and pray. The land need to be healed. And then I lost 15 family members, 10 family members back to back, and then 5 people in the hood. I'm like, I got to get on here and start praying. I got to get on here, and we're going to keep losing people. I got to get on here and start praying. And when I did that, he just started opening up doors. I look up, I got on TikTok and taught myself how to publish this book. I am a self-published author. I can now help you publish your book. So if you got a book in you, I could definitely help you.
How to make a podcast in the hood.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? I can help you publish this. I got ebooks. I got, and they're available everywhere. That's major coming from.
Yeah, so I saw that Barnes and Noble. I didn't even know they were still open.
Target. I made it. Yeah.
All major distributors.
Yeah.
That's dope.
For sure.
Now, before you get up out of here, you know what I'm saying, based on my research, I do have some questions for you. So, just so we could do a rapid fire, you could just explain to me, you know what I'm saying, we all know that you're an author, but I also noticed that you put supernatural and transformational speaker. Yeah. Now, if you couldn't explain that to me, what do you mean by supernatural? What's supernatural about it?
Did this seem normal?
It didn't because, like I said, you went through so much, and to be right here smiling and laughing and shit, you know what I'm saying, it's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
I made it supernatural because I believe in God. I walk by faith and not by sight. So that makes me supernatural because the natural pays attention to logic, what makes sense. Sensibly, I'd be right here depressed, bitter, mad, sad, no hope. Logically, that's how. But because I walk by faith, because of my faith in God, and my because I know there's power in the name of Jesus, that I could call up on him and things gonna happen, that I could pray and I could change the atmosphere. That makes me supernatural. I'm favored, I'm chosen, I got gifts, I can lay hands and you will be healed. You know what I'm saying? So that makes me supernatural. I'm not regular. You know what I'm saying? So that make me supernatural transformational. Somebody listening to this life gonna be changed just off this conversation right here, just off reading this book right here. Your life gonna be transformed, you know, just off hearing me speak on this. Somebody, maybe not everybody, but if I reach one, maybe two, maybe even you.
I definitely want to read the whole book, you know what I'm saying, based on the story, though.
Yeah.
For real. I definitely want to know the whole book, you know what I'm saying.
Got to, it get real in there, and I went deep, you know.
Can't wait for the movie, neither. That definitely got to make that.
Come see about me.
I got a real life situation that I want to make into a movie. Like, these real life situations definitely need to be.
And you could do it. If you could see it, you could do it. You just got to believe in yourself, and you got to put God first. He the key. That's the key.
For sure. So, you mentioned like your coach was already doing a whole bunch of things that you wanted to do. So,
and I never met her for a day in my life. I met her on a.
You said you never met her?
I never met her before that day.
Oh, okay.
I had never seen her. I was in a What's Love seminar. Casa invited me to her little seminar, you know. And me personally, I'm so open with what I've been through. I never been ashamed to talk about the things that I've been through, you know. So I was venting, and I was telling them what I was going through, and they was like, he not gonna change. And she offered her services to me for free. I want to help you, you know what I'm saying? And one of the main things she had helped me with was learning how to be alone, because I didn't know how to be alone. I always was desperate for people to be around me, desperate for people to accept me, because I was abandoned, because I was rejected. And when I got around her, she was a life coach. She had a book. Oh, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. I do that. She like, just start. You know, she had suspended me for like 6 months because I was still lit. I was still in the streets. I was still trying to, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't understand this is like a foreign language. And that's why I'm stressing it, because I know if it was foreign to me, it's foreign to them. You know, it look impossible. It look weird. Who does this? You know what I'm saying? But I want to, this is happening in the white community. You know what I'm saying? They have healthy habits. They reading, they journaling, they jogging, they exercising, they taking care of themselves. This is not normal in our community. So I want to help heal the land. This gonna help heal the land. If I could get you to start reading, just by you reading, and you probably ain't read a book in years, I'm helping with the healing process. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna bring some awareness to yourself. You gonna start seeing some things in you. You gonna start being able to use your pain for superpower. That's exactly what I just did. I just transformed my trauma into triumph.
Now, a gift of a curse. Was that, you know, like you said, you had multiple copies of the book in the laptop? Is that the same thing with the title, or did the title just
Jay-Z was like one of the biggest role models I had growing up. I listened to him about everything. Get your man right, mommy. You know, he kind of gave me the game. I had to listen to music to learn the game, because I ain't really had nobody around me to teach me. And he had the gift of, what was the name of it? A gift, gifts and curses or something like that.
I'm not too familiar with.
Well, anyway, like he that's a little old school. You might be.
No, I was just on the Wayne side.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I rock with Wayne too. You know, I rock with all the greatest. I'm one of the greatest. So, like, yeah, I rock with the greatest. But he had something. He had the double platinum album. It was the gift and the curse. And when I dropped this, that's all kept sitting in my heart. Like, but I had to find another way to put it so I won't get copyrighted by him. But it was something like his was called the gift of the gifts and curses, but something like that. But this just sat in my heart. This is the gift of the curses that was put on my life. This is gonna be a gift to the world. This is my gift to the world from all the curses that was put on me. For what the devil meant for evil, God used it for his good. This is now a gift of the presence that I'm still here, and that I'm able to leave a legendary story. I came from the hood. I came from nothing. I don't have a degree. I don't have none of that, and I'm still giving hope, you know. So that's a gift.
Now that the book is out, you know what I'm saying, you making your rounds, do you pay attention to what it's doing now that it's out? Like, do you pay attention to the analytics, the numbers, who's buying it, where they buying it from?
Yeah, you know, recently I just told myself to stop paying attention to who's supporting and who ain't, because it'll trick you up out your peace, you know, because the people that you thought would support you, they walked away. Some of the people that you felt like should have been supporting you and your number one fans, they weren't there. It's people popping up that you ain't even think that'll support you. It's you know, a lot of strangers support you before your own friends, you know what I'm saying? So I watched some people that I thought would be super supported. I supported them in everything they do, walk away, you know what I'm saying? That hurt it, you know what I'm saying? So watching some people that I feel like supposed to be happy for me ain't happy, that hurt, you know what I'm saying? So like, recently I had to stop watching it because this is God's plan. I gotta stay focused on the purpose of why I'm here. It's not that I'm here for the people, but for the people that want to be here. I'm here for the people. Those that come, let them come. Those that go, let them go. So I gotta keep focused on my purpose. It's a purpose behind this. I didn't just write this to badmouth people when, oh yeah, they did this, they ain't nothing. Like, no, this ain't about that. It's bigger than that.
And still just stepping on your purpose a little bit before you get up out of here. If you don't mind, let's talk about the future a little bit. So like the book's out, like what's the plan? You know what I'm saying? We kind of talked about a movie. Like, is there more books coming? Is we just pushing this book? Like, what's, if you don't mind sharing, what's the goals for the future?
Because it's got to happen. Right now, I'm working on getting it out to the world. Everybody needs to know about this book in every state. So every podcast I can get on, every radio interview, every pop-up shop. My thing is just to get this in the most hands as I can by the end of the year. And I feel like God gonna open up the door as soon as it touch the right hands. I want it to be a movie. It's definitely gotta make it to the big screen. I need y'all to see this. Like, I can't make this up. I got real witnesses vouching for it. I got 5 stars on Amazon, Walmart, and Noble. I got so many testimonials in my phone of people texting me like, man, it was such a blessing. It was so good. I read it twice. I read it in a day. I read it in 2 hours, you know. So it's touched everybody's life. Every hand that touched this book was blessed. You know, unless they was a real hater. I haven't got no bad reviews. It was some typos. Like, I had some editing stuff going on in here, you know, that I tried to fix before it dropped, but it didn't get fixed. I had fixed it. I thought it was fixed. Then the books came. They were still messed up. And I'm like, you know, it is what it is. I got to let it go.
Everything yourself for the first time, no background. You're going to have a typo going to come with it.
Yeah, it was a lot of little editing issues, you know. And I had paid an editor, but it's like I had to learn. I learned from my mistakes. You got it's proofreading editors, it's line editors, it's this editor. So I didn't go through all the proper channels, but, you know, I didn't have nobody helping me market this. I did all this by myself. So it was like, okay, just go. You know, everybody's like, we waiting on the next one, but I'm waiting on God to tell me about the next one, you know, because he laid this in my heart from the name of the chapters to the scriptures being here. That's what makes this book even more powerful. It's scriptures in every chapter. It's power in the word. The word comes alive. I'm sowing seeds in your heart. You don't even know it. You know, as this going in your eyes, it's going in your heart. So this makes it even more powerful, even more supernatural. Like, but from the names of the chapters, from the names of the characters, to everything, I feel like it was all heaven sent. So like, until I hear from heaven, like, I got the title in my head of what the next one gonna be. You know what I'm saying? But until I hear from heaven and he give me a thorough like go, you know what I'm saying? Right now, he just want me to focus on getting it out to the world. I need this in Washington, Cali, Atlanta, Texas, Ohio, Florida. So that's my journey right now, is to travel and put this in so many hands so they come see about me. About it, you know, and then I want this to be a movie. And then, yeah, I'm going to work on another book. I already started writing it, but it ain't flowing how this flows. So I know it ain't time yet. You know, when God's time and when he ready for you to do something, it's going to flow. If you got to force it, if it's confusing, if you, that mean it ain't God. Because when God is ready, I worked on this for 3 years. It took me 2 years to write it. Took me 2 years to write it and a year to publish it because they ran off with my money. 6 months I was working on it. 6 months they was gone. But it took me 2 months to put this together. Once I went live and started praying, 2 months it took me to put this out here by myself. What they ran off with thousands, only took me a few hundreds. That's when you know God is in it. It's going to flow. It's going to come easy. It's going to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to stand them tests of trials. You got to keep believing it. Things going to happen.
For sure. For sure. I was not expecting you to come up here with that amazing story. You know what I'm saying? I probably should have did a little bit more research, but I definitely
you should have did your homework on me.
This was quick. This was quick. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm a life coach too. Though I'm gonna offer my life coaching services by the end of the year. I'm getting certified in that right now. I just got ordained to be a minister. I ain't ready to announce
not
that.
A minister.
I want to be able to do the weddings. I want to do the weddings and stuff like that. I did that by mistake, but they definitely ordained me as one. I just ain't ready for that yet.
Mistake.
Yeah,
I
but
slipped
I did
and
that
fell
by mistake. Yeah, for real. I was really going for the life coaching courses, and I end up just taking it. And they looked up like reverend here. I'm like, wait a minute, I ain't ready for that yet. But yeah, I want to be able to do the weddings, and then I'm really trying to get in the schools and speak. I need to go talk to the girls. I want to build them up. I want to speak life into them. they already know they doing wrong. Tell them what they doing right. Tell them that they can make it. Give them hope. You know what I'm saying? And that's really my biggest goal. I want to get into schools and start motivational speaking.
Yeah, you're definitely a great speaker. I say the schools, man. I don't know if you want to get back in the jails, but
yeah,
the story, because the story is somebody gonna hear and be like, somebody who feel like they can't make it out of a situation that you made it out of can hear that and be like, I can make it out and then do this after that.
Period. You can make this book while you in here. Use your time wisely. Do the time. Don't let the time do you. Too many people sitting in jail with all that dead time. You could have 30 degrees. You gotta. I need to get in there.
For sure. It's coming, you know what I'm saying? I definitely see big things in your future.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time. As you know, it's probably the most valuable thing we got.
For
you know what I'm saying? So
get that back.
If you could, let the people know where they can find you on social media, where they can buy the book, where they get the ebook, all that good stuff.
So, if you Google A Gift of a Curse, that's the title. It will tell you a lot of different ways to get this. It's on Amazon, ebooks, hard copies, and these paperbacks. They are on Amazon. They're in Walmart, Barnes and Noble, Target. There's a lot of different other places that have them. It's in the UK. It's in every country. It's all over the world. It's available everywhere. I also always have them on hand. So if you see me, I got them. Also, I could be followed. I got links on my page. If you go to, I got 2 Instagrams. My personal page is so amazing _charity. I got some links in there where you can click on. You can see some previews. I got like movie previews of the book. My business page, if it's more professional, it's Charity Done on Facebook, and then I Am Charity Done on Instagram. I Am Charity Done on TikTok. I Am Charity Done on YouTube. I can be reached at all those. CharityDone1@gmail.com. If you got any questions, you want to contact me. And it's lit. Get with me. Just Google me, Charity Done. It's gonna pop up. It's official for sure.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
In a minute, gang.
Gang.